Hello guys, welcome back. It's Illogical as always, and this is take 3 because every time I seem to do this video it ends in a rant, so it does. So I'm trying to be a little bit more composed whenever I do this here, so it is what it is. If you do want to hear the other 2 rants, tell me. But yeah, long story short guys is... it's gonna turn into a rant again. Get good! I'm sorry, I had to say it. Whenever it comes to the Elden Ring DLC, all I can really say, guys, is get good. I'm sorry, I know it's mean, but From Software created the phrase of get good. So, again, I'm gonna have to create the phrase get good. You're complaining because your fucking Nerf Moonveils, Blasphemous Blades, and fucking Rivers of Blood are not doing the job that you want them to do because they got fucking nerfed. Big whoop-de fucking do. Get good, adapt, be better, instead of relying on some form of fucking nutty cheese. I'm sorry. No, actually, I'm not sorry. That was pure and utter sarcasm, so it was. What my point is the fact that if anybody's surprised by this, suck it up. Nut up or shut up, or as in Dark Souls 2, as Dark Souls 2 puts it, if you can't take the heat, get out of the keep. Right? References for fucking days. The reason why I'm bringing this up is there is a track record of From Software DLCs being the most difficult additions to games that you will ever imagine possible. Let's take Dark Souls 1 for example. Dark Souls 1, the most difficult boss by somewhat of a stretch, bar a couple of really annoying outliers. You're talking Smorn Ornstein. Some people might have difficulties with the likes of Priscilla or fucking the Iron Golem. Some level of mediocre difficulty, but the first major brick wall that you're going to find in the game is going to be Smorn Ornstein, realistically speaking, because you do genuinely need to be better at the game to take them to cunts on, right? But then whenever they introduced the Artorias of the Abyss DLC, they introduced Artorias, Calamite, the Sanctuary Guardian, and Manus, who all dwarfed the base game difficulty. Do you understand? Do you understand the track record that we're about to follow here? Then you had Dark Souls 2. Let's be clear here. Dark Souls 2, realistically, of all the games, not the most difficult, to be 100% honest. But the bosses that you're likely going to have difficulty with would be something akin to the Four Lords, or getting to them, being more accurately, that being the likes of the Lost Sinner, maybe the Belfry Gargoyles. Maybe fucking Duke's Dear Freya, the Rotten. Maybe you'll have some form of difficulty. Probably the biggest skill check that you're going to have early game is probably going to be maybe the Pursuer. Mid game, probably the Smelter Demon. Late game, you're talking maybe fucking what? The Ancient Dragon, who's just a fucking sponge. Who else is there? There's not many bosses in Dark Souls 2, it's hard to remember. Valstat would be a pretty strong skill check too. That's really it. Like, not really many other of them are really that devious in terms of skill checks. But then all of a sudden you had the DLCs. The first DLC you had Alana the Squalid Queen and the Gank Squad and the fucking Dragon, which I can't remember, seem to remember his name, who were all exceptionally more fucking difficult than anything the base game had to offer. Then you had the second DLC. You had Raim, who clocked that many kills in the first day that people were wondering if he was even beatable. You had Sir Alon after that there, and then you had the Smelter Demon 2.0, who people all complained about, because they were substantially more difficult than the base game. Then you had Alva, the Twin Pets, as well as the Ivory King in the third DLC. Again, it's the same story. Do you understand what my meaning is? We're two games deep here, and we still have a track record, right? Dark Souls 3 next, yeah? Dark Souls 3, you got what? Lothric and Lorien, you have fucking, what's his face? The Nameless King. Is there any other particularly big standouts? Vort's pretty difficult. The Dragon Slayer armor's pretty difficult. Who else have we got? You've got Osiris, Champion Gundyr. We have exceptionally difficult bosses in the base game, but by the time the DLC came out, people were complaining that Duke's Dear Freya had a third phase. You had the fucking the Gravetender's Champion. You had in the Ring City, you had fucking Gale, the Demon Princes, and Midir. And people are complaining about difficulty. Like, you have to remember, whenever these DLCs were released, people were complaining the exact same way they are now, and now that's the difference. Do you see the track record that we're finding here? Then you've got Bloodborne. Like, Bloodborne was difficult, so it was, but then all of a sudden they added Ludwig, Lawrence, and the Orphan of Cause. Do you see the problem I'm having here? I have streamed for 35 hours. The entire thing's up on my channel. So it is. The entire thing's up on my channel of me defeating every boss by myself on NG, standard NG. Beating every boss on standard NG by myself, right? No spirit summons, no help, no cheese. I cheesed one boss and summoned for one encounter. And that was it. That was all I did. So it was those two things is all I did, right? Other than that, every other boss was fair game, right? And this is my point. The game is not unfair. It's just you need to get good. So it is. The bosses are skill checks. They are difficult. But then at this stage of the game, of course they're fucking difficult. This is what happens. So it is. Like, how anybody thought this DLC was going to be a cakewalk, I don't know. But again, they did nerf a lot of people's favourite toys for clearing PvE. So they did. Let's be clear on this. But at this stage, it's self-infliction. You never decided to get good in the first place. And now the game's going to force you to. If you're complaining that it's hard, people have it harder than you might think. Because obviously I did what I did. But then you got Streaks, Spud, and Warframe. Warframe's doing a rune level 30 run. Spud is doing an NG plus run on a Faith build. And Streaks is doing an NG plus run with his Streaks character as well. Which are all vastly different to each other. And they're all having their own baller of a time. Which is, they're getting their ass kicked. But again, the simple phrase is, get good. So it is. Again, I have streamed. I had my ups, I had my downs. But I beat every boss. I think I beat all the content that the game had to offer at the time. So again, and it's not the fact that I'm some magically fantastic player. I'm fucking shit in comparison to the other streamers. I'm shit. Right, let's be clear. PvE wise is not my forte. PvP's my forte. PvE isn't. I struggle a lot whenever it comes to PvE. So I do. So the long and the short of it is, guys, simply it's nut up or shut up and get good. Because quite frankly, a lot of people that are complaining that the game's too hard probably doesn't even have a right to speak on it, to be fair. So they don't. I have beaten every single game, so I have. Multiple times. DLCs included. My simple point of the matter is, stop complaining. Just simply stop complaining. If it's too hard, get good. Or leave. Be my guest. I've beaten, I'm working off, the reason why I'm so livid is because whenever it comes to PvE, my skill level is about as average as everybody else's, right? But I beat the game because I had an idea of what I was doing. Big tip being is a lot of people got skill checked by a specific two-sworded bitch. Right? Two-sworded bitch, right? Did a lot of people not know that you can get behind her? I discovered that one after I killed her. But you can get behind her. Did you know that? I don't think you did. Because you never bothered to explore. This is the same as whenever Elden Ring was released and you went and fucking face planted yourself against the tree sentinel. Fucking self-infliction. You've got an entire open world map to make use of. And you're going to run into the first guy you find, get one shot and then complain that the game's hard. Because it doesn't hold your hand. I'm not going to mince my words, guys. Simply is, if you didn't learn by now, you'll never learn. And basically, get good. It's a From Software game. It's an expectation now that you need to be good to play their games. No amount of cheese is going to help you other than that there, because the DLC is most certainly going to fix it. Anyway, yeah, this is take 3 and it ended in a rant again. I've said what I needed to say because I needed to get it off my chest because I'm fed up with people complaining that the DLC is too hard. Suck it, right? And if you don't believe me, there's 7 parts on YouTube that you can watch, and you can watch me fucking fail. But at any stage did I give up? Absolutely not, because I will put my face to a blender or a cheese grater before I give up. That's all I've got to say about that. So, yeah, suck it up, guys, and get good. Just remember, guys, not everything goes to plan, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!